Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your afternoon to watch the video. Much appreciated. And today I'm going to give you guys a rundown how my second tournament day went here at the Toyota Series Live Scope Benefit Tournament on Lake of the Ozarks. Basically that's what it was, because if you weren't live scoping with an Alabama rig, you weren't very high up the leaderboard here. So anyway, I was going to give you guys a rundown here how it went for me today. If you guys watched the video yesterday, I had almost 12 pounds yesterday, and I was, in 40-something place, right there, check range, about a pound out of making the top 25-pound cut. But I really felt yesterday that after I thought about it last night, I didn't think that I could go back into the areas that I fished yesterday and catch them today unless we had a lot of wind, because a lot of those jerkbait fish I was catching were wind-generated fish. They were a little bit shallower, so I needed the wind in order to catch them there. And my plan was today is basically to abandon the jerkbait pattern, and I wanted to go shallow because it was going to be 80 degrees today. I felt that the fish were going to make some type of a pretty significant move shallow, and I thought that was my best chance to catch a big bag of fish. So anyway, my plan was today, and what I did is I ran up one of the major creek arms until I got into some dirty water, and I started cranking that Mega Bass Z2 crankbait, in a crawdad pattern. And right off the bat, I caught a decent keeper, which, really gave me a lot of confidence, because the water's been so cold, they probably wouldn't have hit a crankbait up until today. So still early in the morning, still pretty dark out, and I've got a nice keeper in the boat on the crankbait. So I just told myself, man, I'm going to whack him on this thing today. So I just kept fishing and kept fishing and kept fishing, waiting for the sun to come up. And I caught 2 or 3 more that I had to put on the board there, like 14 7/8 inches, real close. And I still felt pretty good about it. I mean, it's like 9:30 in the morning. Felt pretty good about everything, that, it's going to be warming up. And I just told myself that as this day goes on and the water warms up, these good fish are going to get shallow, and I'm going to catch a big bag, cranking and pitching that jig of mine around. So I started catching them just little by little. I wound up, I caught my second one sometime in the mid part of the day. About another hour later, I caught my third one. Had about an hour left in the day, and I caught my fourth one. So I kept, the entire day, I kept thinking, man, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it was just slow and slow and slow. And as it wound up, I just wound up catching 4 fish for about 8 pounds, which gave me, close to 20 pounds in the tournament for 2 days. I was really shocked at that, though. I felt with the water temperature warmed up 4 degrees today, which is a pretty significant warm up from yesterday. And I got thinking about it after I took the boat off the water, and it's like, I just told myself, you're about a week too early here. I mean, even though the water temperature warmed it up, it's still not enough of a warm up to get those fish positioned up there like they're going to be sometime next week. There's still a ton of fish out suspended, and that's why all the guys that caught the big bags today caught them live scoping with an Alabama rig. That's where they're at. They're not up on the bank yet. But I felt that my only chance in this tournament to really make a big move and catch a big sack of fish was to find something that most guys in the tournament didn't think was going on yet. And I came pretty close. I mean, I caught 4 decent keepers doing it, and it's not like it wasn't working. It was working enough to keep me on it. And yeah, I could have probably went back down and caught another limit about like what I did yesterday on a jerkbait, because we did get some wind that came up in the afternoon. But like I told you guys yesterday, it's like, if you don't put yourself in position to catch a big bag, you're never going to catch a big bag. And like I said, I don't use live scope. I don't like fishing Alabama rigs, so I wasn't going to catch those type of fish. I had to figure something else out. So in retrospect here guys, here's what I can leave you with as far as to learn from what happened in this tournament with me. When you're talking about weather patterns unfolding, like whether it be the water cooling off or the water warming up, one thing that you cannot pay much attention to is the air temperature, because it was 81 degrees today here. It was shorts weather, so you automatically think that it's 80 degrees, it feels hot, these fish are going to be up shallow. And they're not. The fish, they go by a cycle that include the daylight hours and the water temperature. And the water temperature, even though the air temperature was extremely warm, the water was not there yet. It was still 2, 3, 4 degrees too cold. And as we're speaking right now, the fish are probably starting to move up a little bit. But the biggest thing that I can leave you guys with in this tournament here is don't rush as far as to think something is either going to happen or it's going to go away. A lot of times you say, well, the water temperature's fallen, you know, they're not going to be shallow because the water temperature's fallen, or the water temperature's rising, so they're going to be shallow. You have to let the fish tell you that. You can't really go by that too much because there's other factors at play here. The factors include, like, you know, the bait fish, you know, the sunlight angle, all that type of stuff. The bait fish in this lake right now are still pretty deep, and that's why a lot of the offshore live scopers caught them in the tournament. I knew it would be caught like that. I predicted that last year, and I predicted it in this tournament, and it's going to get one live scoping with an Alabama rig, you know, which sucks because it sucks fishing like that. So anyway, got this one under my belt, guys. First Toyota Series of the year. At least I came out of it with some pretty decent points. You know, I didn't, like, you know, completely stub myself too bad here, but I was hoping to do a little bit better. I was hoping to at least get a limit today. If I just caught one more, that'd have made a big difference. But I fished clean. I didn't lose any fish the whole tournament. I caught, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about how I caught them yesterday. I caught all my fish on the Megabass 110 Silent in the Skeleton Tennessee pattern, fishing it on 6-pound test, Seaguar and Vizix line, a Megabass whip snake spinning rod. I used a 6-pound line to get it down deeper. And today I was cranking the Megabass Z2 crankbait, and I think it's called the Fire Claw or something craw on there, but just basically a crawfish pattern. Fishing it, same deal, Megabass whip snake spinning rod, 8-pound test Seaguar and Vizix line to get the bait deeper. That's what I was wanting to do there. So that's the wrap for this tournament, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated you guys following me through the practice and the tournament. Like I said, we'll keep you guys updated. The next tournament I got is the Lake Cherokee Bassmaster Open in about 3 weeks. So we'll keep pumping the videos out until then. So I hope you guys are doing good. See you.